Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, some things in life just don't go your way? It's as if you're constantly fighting an uphill battle against an invisible force that just won't budge. But what if I told you that the secret to overcoming this isn't about pushing harder, but rather changing the way we see and interact with the world around us? This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes in, offering us a powerful lens through which we can navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease and resilience. Imagine for a moment that you have the clarity and calm to face any situation, not because you have control over everything, but because you understand what truly lies within your power to change. Stoicism isn't just an abstract philosophy, it's a practical toolkit for living a fulfilling and meaningful life, no matter what comes your way. Today, we're delving deep into this transformative philosophy, exploring how we can apply Stoic principles to cultivate inner peace, strength, and freedom. From letting go of what we can't control to embracing challenges with grace and courage, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters, empowering us to live our best lives. If you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just curious about how to navigate life's complexities with more serenity and purpose, you're in the right place. Join me on this journey of self-discovery and growth as we uncover the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and how it can help us thrive in an ever-changing world. And if you're eager to unlock these life-changing insights and join our community of thinkers and doers, make sure to hit that subscribe button and watch every part of this video. You won't want to miss a single moment of the wisdom we're about to share. At its core, the dichotomy of control is about distinguishing between what we can change and what we must accept. This idea isn't just a Stoic principle. It echoes across various wisdom traditions and psychological theories, emphasizing the power of discernment in our lives. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, highlighted this concept. Most famously, he pointed out that our frustrations often arise not from the events themselves, but from our perceptions and reactions to these events. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the traffic, no matter how frustrated you get. But what you can control is your response to being stuck. You can choose to listen to music, an audiobook, or use the time to reflect. This shift in focus is liberating, moving you from a state of frustration to one of calm and possibly even enjoyment. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher and a Roman emperor, also emphasized this principle in his meditations. He advised that we should meet each event with the question, is this something that is or is not in my control? By doing this, we can focus our efforts where they count and find peace in letting go of what we cannot influence. However, it's not just the Stoics who recognize this truth. Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher, spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in our virtues. This balance is about understanding the limits of our control and acting within them. For Aristotle, the virtue of courage, for example, lies between the extremes of rashness and cowardice, guiding us to act with bravery but also with wisdom to know when action is futile. From a psychological perspective, Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist, also touched upon this concept, though in different terms. He spoke about individuation, becoming who we truly are. Part of this process is acknowledging what is within our power to change and accepting what is not. In his words, we cannot change anything unless we accept it. This acceptance is not about resignation, but about recognizing reality so we can focus our energy more productively. Plato, another ancient philosopher, taught that understanding the world requires distinguishing between what is changeable and what is eternal and unchangeable. In his allegory of the cave, he suggests that most of us are like prisoners, focusing on shadows on a wall, things we cannot change, rather than turning around to see the source of the light, things we can change. So when we talk about the dichotomy of control, we're tapping into a rich vein of wisdom that runs through Stoicism, Western philosophy, and modern psychology. It's about understanding that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses. And this control starts with perception. If we perceive every challenge as an opportunity to practice patience, creativity, or resilience, we transform our experience of the world. By internalizing this principle, we empower ourselves to respond to life's uncertainties with grace and composure. We learn to conserve our energy for the battles we can win and cultivate serenity for those we cannot. It's a transformative approach that can lead to profound peace and effectiveness in our lives, echoing the Stoic promise of living in harmony with the flow of life. The idea invites us to reflect on our attachments and question how they influence our peace of mind and happiness. When we look closely, we realize that much of our emotional turmoil stems from holding on too tightly to things that are inherently unstable and fleeting. Consider the teachings of Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized that our distress comes not from the things themselves, but from our attachments to them. He famously said that we are disturbed not by events, but by our views about them. This perspective is liberating because it suggests that we can choose a different view, one that doesn't hinge on external validation or possessions. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to be indifferent to what makes no difference. This is a powerful call to focus our energies and care on what truly matters: our character, our virtues, and how we relate to others, rather than external status or possessions. Seneca also wrote extensively about the transient nature of life and the folly of placing our happiness in the hands of fortune. By clinging to objects, people, or power, we become slaves to variables outside our control, setting ourselves up for inevitable disappointment and suffering. Transitioning to a broader philosophical context, let's consider Aristotle, who spoke about achieving eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or well-being. For Aristotle, true happiness is found in virtuous activity and fulfilling our potential, not in accumulating possessions or receiving others' admiration. Plato, too, invites us to consider what is truly valuable. In his dialogues, he often contrasts the world of appearances with the world of forms, the eternal, unchanging truths. Clinging to the former, he suggests, is like mistaking shadows for reality. It's the latter that offers true insight and fulfillment. And what does modern psychology have to say about this? Carl Jung, delving deep into the human psyche, observed that our shadows, those parts of ourselves we deny or repress, often manifest in our external attachments. By recognizing and integrating these aspects of ourselves, we can find greater wholeness and reduce our dependence on external validation. So what does this all mean for us today? It means appreciating and enjoying the world around us without becoming dependent on it for our self-worth or identity. It means loving people, engaging with our work, and savoring our experiences, all while knowing that everything is transient. And it's in this transience that we find a paradoxical freedom. The freedom to fully engage with life while also releasing our grip on it. By internalizing this lesson from Stoicism, we cultivate a robust inner life that is not easily shaken by external judgments. Straightforward and practical wisdom reminds us that we suffer not because of events in our lives, but because of our judgments about them. When we hinge our self-esteem on others' opinions, we subject our inner life to a roller coaster ride dictated by external judgments, most of which we can't predict or control. Instead, Epictetus advises focusing on our own actions and responses, which are within our sphere of control. Marcus Aurelius, who faced his fair share of public scrutiny as an emperor, similarly counseled himself to remain indifferent to the good and bad opinions of others. He understood that letting public opinion dictate one's self-worth is a sure path to distress. For Aurelius, tranquility was found in adhering to one's own reasoned judgments and living a life aligned with virtue, regardless of external acclaim or criticism. Seneca speaks to this point, suggesting that true freedom comes from being independent of the crowd's whims and judgments. He highlights the importance of self-assessment and integrity over the fickle and often misguided judgments of others. Shifting to a broader philosophical perspective, Aristotle taught that virtue and ethical living are the foundations of a good life. While he acknowledged the social nature of humans and the value of external goods. He stressed that the highest good, eudaimonia, or flourishing, is largely dependent on living in accordance with reason and virtue, not on the opinions or validations of others. Plato encourages us to seek truth and goodness beyond surface appearances and societal approval. His work suggests that understanding and living by higher principles is more rewarding and stable than chasing the fleeting shadows of public opinion. In the realm of modern psychology, Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, becoming who we truly are, separate from the collective opinions and norms. He posited that our journey toward wholeness requires acknowledging and integrating various parts of ourselves, many of which might not align with public opinion or expectations, but are essential for our authentic self-expression and fulfillment. So, how do we apply this wisdom in our daily lives? By grounding ourselves in our own values and principles, we can appreciate others' perspectives without being dependent on them for our self-esteem. We learn to consult our internal compass rather than the ever-shifting winds of public opinion. We start to recognize that while feedback can be valuable, our self-worth must be anchored in something deeper and more stable, our own sense of integrity and purpose. At the heart of this teaching is a recognition of life's inherent unpredictability. Despite our best efforts and most detailed plans, the future always holds a degree of uncertainty. The Stoics, understanding this, urge us to detach from specific outcomes and to embrace the process itself. This isn't about lowering our standards or not caring about results. Rather, it's about understanding the limits of our control. Epictetus articulates this by encouraging us to differentiate between what is in our power and what is not. Our efforts, intentions, and attitudes, those are within our control. The final outcomes, often, they are not. By internalizing this distinction, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration and anxiety. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently reflects on the nature of change and the importance of adapting gracefully to whatever life presents. He reminds us that the universe is change, and our attempts to resist this natural order only lead to suffering. Instead, he advocates for a flexible approach where we do our part diligently but remain open to the twists and turns of fate. Seneca expands on this idea by pointing out that our distress comes not from events themselves, but from our rigid expectations of how things should be. He suggests that a wise person understands the role of fortune in human affairs, and while striving for the best, is prepared for various outcomes. Shifting to a broader philosophical perspective, Aristotle also touches on the concept of potentiality and actuality, reminding us that while we can strive for excellence in our actions, the fruition of these actions is influenced by factors beyond our control. Thus, focusing solely on results can lead to disappointment because it overlooks the importance of virtuous action for its own sake. Plato encourages us to pursue the good, the true, and the beautiful in our lives, understanding that the world of forms, the ideal, is often beyond our grasp in the material world. This pursuit is about the journey toward higher understanding and virtue, not about securing a particular outcome. From a modern psychological perspective, Carl Jung speaks to the importance of individuation, embracing our unique path and becoming who we truly are. This process is inherently uncertain and cannot be tethered to specific outcomes or societal expectations. It's about the journey of self-discovery and growth, which unfolds in unpredictable ways. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives? By focusing on our actions and intentions and letting go of our attachment to specific results. This approach doesn't mean we don't care about the outcome. Rather, it means we understand that the true value lies in our engagement with the present, in our efforts and growth along the way. When we stop clinging to outcomes and ideas, we become more adaptable, resilient, and open to the myriad possibilities life offers. We can find joy and satisfaction in the process, in the unfolding of our efforts, and in the growth we experience along the way. This perspective enables us to face life's uncertainties with courage and equanimity, embracing each moment as it comes, guided by our inner compass rather than external pressures or expectations. This Stoic principle invites us to live more fully in the present, to invest ourselves wholeheartedly in the journey, and to trust that by doing so, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, no matter what the future holds. As we conclude our journey today, remember that Stoic wisdom isn't just about enduring life's storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain, embracing each moment with courage and grace. Your journey through life is unique, filled with its own challenges and triumphs. By applying these timeless Stoic principles, you're equipping yourself with a compass that guides you to inner peace and resilience, no matter where you go. Thank you for joining me here at Stoic Journal. Your presence and engagement in this community enrich our collective journey toward wisdom and understanding. If you're eager to dive deeper into the art of living well, please check out one of the suggested videos on the screen. Continue to nurture your mind, cultivate your virtues, and walk your path with heart. Until next time, remember, the best part of your journey is yet to unfold. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep growing.